Hey everybody, so Jacob here. I want to show some the Wigwam Weekend specials and a couple of different things that we haven't done here yet. So one thing that I have not done here yet is a baked oyster. Once again, always try to do new modern takes on classic dishes. I have a Rappahannock oysters. These are East Coast oysters from name a town Rappahannock in Virginia. I love using these oysters for baking because it's a thinner shell, it's a deep cup, and it's a 3-inch. So very easy to cook it, add to it, and not overcook the oyster. So we're gonna go classic and do a Rockefeller, but with my little twist on it. So let's open her up. In this situation, normally you always want to keep that liquid inside, not for a baked oyster. I want to get rid of most of that salt water that's inside. So I want to replace it with something that tastes better. So, to do a nice baked, I always put it on a nice little sizzle pan lined with salt. The salt's not going to burn, it's not going to do anything negative, but it keeps the oyster where and how I want it to be. Not all. Now, the trick to a baked oyster. So, put that underneath the salamander. We're going to let that cook for about a minute or two, which is just enough time for us to grab the next steps and what we need. Keep going. Here, I have a Rockefeller oyster is usually a baked oyster with some creamed spinach and flavorings. In this situation, I wanted to zag a little bit and give it some. I have the kale right now from our friends at Nichols Farm. It's stellar. So I did a very nice braised kale and minced it up into a nice little paste. And I infused that kale not just with local heavy cream and garlic, but also Meyer lemon juice and sauce. So again, adding local products with premium products to do something classic but a little different. We know it's ready. One, you can feel the radiant heat, and we've already lost, even though I drained the moisture out, you can see we've regained it. That's why I want to get rid of that salt water, because I want the oyster juice to come out. We're going to take some of that Rockefeller mixture. I think like a nice little oyster spoon. Get a nice coverage. The trick is, I want you to taste the oyster. I want you to taste the filling. I'm not trying to hide the oyster underneath. I'm not trying to hide the oyster with the kale. I want you to be able to enjoy everything together in balance. So, Goldilocks zone. Not too much, not too much, right? We're going to take this, put it in the oven for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we'll garnish the plate. Awesome. It's cooked. Everything's hot. So, once again, just like how we baked it in salt, for the end result on the plate, so I don't want to chip, and also, I'm not about to put a hot oyster on ice, so I like to mix pickling spice with kosher salt. lay that down gratuitously on the plate. This, now the hot oyster, when that touches the salt and the pickling spice, it's going to release all those aromas from the pickles, from the pickling spices, like the mustard seed, the bay leaf, the juniper berries. So that's going to be very nice. But first, we need to finish and garnish. So, I have this wonderful salmon roe from our friends at Rare Tea Cellar. Garnish each one. A little bit of smoked salmon and a little bit of salmon roe. That's going to give, since we cooked the oysters, we worked a lot of that wonderful oceanic flavor out of the oyster, replaced it with that wonderful local kale and cream. So now we're kind of realigning our flavor profile. So all that oceanic flavor we took out and replaced with good flavor, we're now doubling down and replacing it. Some nice fresh chopped chives. Now these are being sold in Wigwam this Friday and Saturday. Buy the each $3. Hope you come in and enjoy.